Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hi, I'm Noah Texas, and thanks for clicking. Today, I'm going to actually be talking about something more personal than my usual vlogs, which you should check out. They're really good. I'm going to be talking about my college experience in Hawaii. I think a lot of people want to know, at least I hope. So, I'm going to just say everything I think you need to know about going to college at BYU Hawaii, or just going to college in Hawaii, or just living in Hawaii, or anything about Hawaii. So if you're even just, First, I'm going to start off by telling you guys what I wish I knew before I came here. So, let's begin. I think the first thing I wish I would have known, actually I wish I did more research, was actually about where my college is located. It's located in a city called Laie, and it's a really cool city and has a lot of different, hiking trails and beaches, but I didn't know that it was actually kind of remote. It's kind of far away from the city, from just a lot of things. For example, if you want to go to Walmart, you have to go an hour both ways to go. You have to go an hour. Someone is watching me do this. Hi. So you have to go an hour to get to Walmart. And I mean, that might not seem like a big deal to some people, but sorry. It is kind of to me. And also with that, you're in a small city and there's not a lot of big cities around, so things like going to the movies or going shopping are kind of a big deal. You're kind of stuck in this area that only has a really, really small movie theater, a small little store. It's a little expensive. That's why I don't always like going there. And what else is there? There's not really any shopping or just basic things you're kind of used to, especially from the mainland. So with that, if you had a car, it might be nice. I don't have a car, so I kind of sometimes feel like I'm kind of stuck in this area that I don't have a lot of things I can go to. Even though it might seem like that's horrible, it's really not that bad. You just have to plan it out. And it makes up for it because there's some amazing beaches around. And I don't know, I really like the city. It's really small too, and it's safe, and yeah. So that's my take on that. Already on the subject, I'm going to talk about something called island fever. I didn't think it was real until I got here, but it kind of is. You kind of feel like you're stuck and don't have anywhere to go. That might be because I just don't have a car, but also to get anywhere, it's kind of a hassle taking the bus, so I just wanted to throw that out there. The bus isn't horrible. It's not bad at all. I take it everywhere. It's just there's only so far you can go, and you're like, wow. Kind of miss if you're from a big country or something, that kind of atmosphere. But actually, I think it makes up for it because there is such diverse geography. Diverse, there's beaches, and then there's hikes, and then there's big cities. There's a lot of different things on the island of Oahu, even though it is kind of small. I haven't got bored yet. I haven't gone everywhere, and I still have a lot of things I want to do. So I don't really get bored. You just kind of get bored if you don't get out, and if you're kind of stuck on campus or something, or in your room. That's when you kind of get bored, and you're kind of what do I do? That's why, luckily for me, I don't really get bored because I'm always working or doing homework or vlogging or traveling around the island. So I think if you want to come here, you need to keep yourself busy. Don't just expect fun stuff to come at you all at once. You have to make it fun. So you might have to invite your friends to go somewhere. What else do you have to do? You have to ride the bus maybe for an hour or two when you don't really want to. But overall, I think we all know it's amazing to live near so many cool landmarks And I've been to not a lot of them, just some of them, and that's like my favorite part about being here. So, along with Hawaii, there's something that's even better than, I guess, all the cool places you get to see. And at BYU Hawaii, specifically, I can't talk. There is so many, people here from all around the world. There's people from, all around the world. I don't want to name off all the countries because there's so many people I've met from Mongolia to the Philippines to Latin America to Brazil to Canada to, I'm really thinking right now, China to Japan to Tonga to Fiji, to places I didn't even know existed. So that's a really cool aspect about BYU Hawaii in specific, because you get to meet people that you would never meet ever unless you came here. And with that, you can't just expect to be like, oh, I'm around all these people from different countries, that's so cool. You actually have to mingle and intermix and talk. I kind of find that an issue because sometimes we're have different groups, but if you come here, don't be afraid of those groups. It's kind of a new atmosphere and a new experience, especially for me coming from Indiana. I'm not used to this, but if you get yourself out there and you kind of learn from other people from around the world, it's a really rewarding experience. So, yes. So I moved the camera around because I bet you're getting bored watching the same thing. But what else can I say? Classes and academic things are important. That's why you come to college. And I like that here because here you actually have to follow this thing called the holokai. Insert picture. It's like you have to have one major, 2 minors, and they're all in different categories. So you have an arts category, a math category, a professional studies category. I don't know if that's exactly right, but that's what it is basically. So you have to take 2 minors basically on top of your major, or 2 certifications. And some people I know don't like that at all. They're like, I don't want to come to college and take classes for something that's not my major. But for me and most people, I think they like that because it's really diversify your classes and makes it not so boring. So unless you only want to take classes from your major, I recommend this system for sure. I'll talk about social life since it's kind of what everyone cares about in college. I don't care about it as much, but most people do. So social life here is not necessarily a main focus. I think there's not always a ton of stuff to do at night or with your friends, unless you yo, let's go to the beach, yo, let's do this. I never say yo. Why am I saying yo? You kind of have to make your own plans. You can't expect social events just to flood around you and you're so busy with doing things with people. It's not necessarily like that, and I think it's because everyone either at night is studying because they were at the beach at the day, or it's just there's not as many people here. It's kind of a smaller college, so it's there's not any opportunities. I think it's fine, personally. Maybe you just want to come to college to be social. I guess this isn't the 100% best place for you then. I'll talk about housing and that department because I think it's important to know. So there's not a ton of housing options. You're kind of limited because there's not that many students here, so you might have to go to a certain house if you're a freshman because you need to have to meal plan. And then there's also only a couple other houses you can go into. Just, it's kind of, you're limited in that regard. And it's because there's not that a need for so many houses. And my dorm, it's smaller than I think most people's dorms are. And that's because space in Hawaii is everything's really close. Land is expensive, you know. So I don't love that at all, personally. But it's not like that big of a deal at all. And you might have to have a meal plan. I don't also love that, but I think it's better than having to spend a lot of money on groceries here, because milk is like $6 or $7. Things like that are actually really expensive, and I think it's kind of alarming to some people, but you can make it work if you just plan out better and like go to Walmart an hour away. It's about the same price, everything there besides like some of the dairy products, and I'd say like some of the fresh things. I'm not sure why but like milk costs like the most things don't cost like that much more than they do in normal places. So activities and like clubs and sports. There are no like actual sports here, so if you like want to have like super school pride and like go to football games, basketball games, and do that, you can't do that here. I don't really care about that too much, but overall, some people do. I know some people wish we had sports, and I think it makes sense why we don't. It's a lot of money, and we are doing a lot of other things. So yeah, about that. But we don't have like, you know, when for colleges they're like super diehard fans and they're like, go mascot, whatever their mascot is. We don't really care about our mascot, or like that school pride aspect is kind of non-existent here. Yeah, it's not like a big deal, just something to think about. And otherwise, there's a lot of clubs you can have. And I think someone's going to talk. Is someone... Back to the video. Okay, so there's a lot of like clubs focused on, or chapters focused on different places in the world. So there's like New Zealand club, or Mongolian club, or Hawaiian club. Like there's clubs for everything, and that's a really cool experience because you get to meet people from around the world again. But in other regards, that's kind of all the main clubs there are. Clubs are kind of limited here, besides like having your, what's the word? Your like ethnic clubs? Might be called that. Overall, there are a lot of negatives and positives. I think the negatives don't outweigh the positives, but just something to take in consideration is that it's not like coming on a vacation every day. It's not necessarily like that. You can try to make it like that, but it's not exactly like that because you're going to school, you're kind of not necessarily like in an environment that's like vacation, you know. It's not like always paradise, you know. There are some resources we don't have because we're so remote, and you kind of do feel like you're kind of remote. But if you make the best out of it and, you know, branch out, try new things, challenge yourself, and want to get a good education, I recommend it. I recommend coming here. And if you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below. I don't think I covered like half of what I wanted to cover for this video, but it's okay. I think if you're a prospective person coming here, some people are looking at me, you should come. You should try it out. But take into account to what I said, because it's not always sunny here in BYU Hawaii. thanks for watching. I hope you learn more about Hawaii. And I just want to add this in. It's a nice Tuesday. I only had one class today, so I went to the beach, and this school is really a great school. Like, nothing else compares. But be prepared for, more than just paradise. Like, be prepared for the rainy days. Hypothetical or non-hypothetical. Be prepared to work hard and to live Hawaiian, I guess. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if I haven't already said that. Hope to see you here soon. There's a lot of friends I can meet. I still need some friends.